Welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel this evening, guys, because after what was a very, very tough week last time out, disappointing results, disappointing performances from our team, we were looking tonight for a response. The Camp Nou was looking for a response, and that is exactly what we got. A first half blitz from Barça, 3 goals in 8 minutes against Villarreal, and this here was against a team that coming into the game, they'd only conceded 3 goals in the league all season. We did that in 8 minutes against them. It was 2 for Robert Lewandowski, 1 for Ansu Fati. A lot of changes tonight as well from Xavi, and even aside from the first half goals, there was also plenty to discuss from the second half, with Xavi making subs and the Camp Nou not really agreeing with them. There is lots to discuss as Barça bounce back. So come on, and let's do it. Because indeed, coming into tonight's game, Xavi was under some pressure, I feel, to change the team. He desperately needed there to refresh his lineup, to bring in some different players and give opportunities. And that is exactly, to be fair, what he did from the beginning. 5 changes in total from El Clásico. Marcos Alonso there, surprisingly, starting at centre-back. Jordi Alba coming in for Balde at left-back. Gavi returned in midfield. It was Busquets on the bench and Frenkie de Jong there in the holding role. We're going to be talking all about him in detail, with Ansu Fati and Ferran coming into the front 3, rewarded for their good displays in the Clásico, and Robert Lewandowski leading the line. And I do have to say, guys, that I think it was an important statement to send out from Xavi there with that starting lineup, refreshing the team. I think we needed it, and it worked. Right from the very word go, we saw more energy from Barca, we saw high pressing, really good organised play as well. In our attacks, we had options. We could go down the left, we could go down the middle, we could go down the right. We did a lot more balanced, and I think everybody out there in that first half just looked a lot more familiar, a lot more understanding between the players. We actually looked tonight, for that first half especially, like a team. That was the performance that we needed to see from Barca, and in the very early stages of the game, Ansu Fati there making the crowd sit up, making them take notice. He was desperate to prove his point tonight, creating a chance there inside of the area, inside of 2 minutes, very close there to opening the scoring, and that was the case right throughout the first half indeed, because Koundé here, you can see over to the right hand side, he flashed across the box there. Jordi Alba does really well actually to keep the ball alive, works it back into the area, and it's Ansu again that gets up highest, rises their header, can't quite keep it down, but he was getting involved, he was having shots on goal, he was arriving into all the right areas there in the final third. But for sure, one player that we simply have to mention from this whole game, it is Frenkie de Jong, because as you can see right here, this is what he was doing. He was winning the ball back there in perfect areas to set up attacks for Barca. He was getting there, he was sensing danger, he was manoeuvring himself around the pitch really well. You can see the chance here that appears for Ansu off the back of that interception there from Frenkie de Jong, and he was just everywhere. I think the way that he can change pace in midfield, the way that he can transition from defence to attack and really burst through opposition teams, that's something that we haven't seen at the base of our midfield now for a long time, and Frenkie tonight, he was absolutely sensational, and it wasn't easy for Barca. Throughout that first half, guys, we were finding it tough to break Villarreal down. At times they had 6 at the back that we had to break down, and we haven't coped well against these deep blocks in recent games, so it was going to take something special to unlock the defence. Well, step up Pedri, because have a look at this here, where Pedri receives that ball, to do damage from there, that's got to be special. To actually open up Villarreal from this position here, it's got to be the perfect pass with the perfect weight on it, and that's what he produces. Wonderful ball in behind there. It's so good that Jordi Alba, who to be fair to him, has made a great run in behind. He doesn't even need to take a touch, crossing the ball in there with his first, and who is there but Robert Lewandowski. And look at that touch there to actually stop everything. It's like he's playing at his own pace here. Villarreal sliding around, he's put them all on the floor, but it's all in his own time. He just spins, turns and puts the ball away. Lewandowski opening the scoring, but it was magic from Pedri and then from Alba. And it was just actually 4 minutes later that Pedri was involved in starting the move once again. This time, it wasn't about elegance, it was about sheer hard work. Sliding tackle there to win the ball back. He plays it into Gavi, who actually manoeuvres very, very well past Dani Parejo, who tries to bring him down, but he plays it over to Robert Lewandowski. Again, there's a run from Jordi Alba that's important there on that left-hand side, just to take some of the attention away from Lewandowski, who cuts inside, and as soon as he's got that space, you know what he's going to do. You know that ball is only ending up in one place. Wonderful finish. Electric feeling when that ball hit the net there. What a goal from Lewandowski. And it was 2 within 5 minutes for Barça. However, we were certainly not done there, as to complete the 3 goals in the 8-minute period, step up Frenkie de Jong. Because this is what I mean here. He's got the ability to just move through teams. The bursting run that opens up the play. He then plays a direct ball into Lewandowski's feet, who pops it off there to Gavi. Look how close Gavi is to Lewandowski. That's something we saw right throughout the game tonight. He then plays in Ferran Torres on the right-hand side. I think Ferran, for this goal, he does brilliantly, because he dummies the ball, actually again sending the defender there to the floor. He then manoeuvres his way around the next. Really good play from Ferran. He deserves the assist, because Ansu Fati here has got the ball on a plate, but he very nearly misses. But I think he's just making sure, guys, that we're all on our toes, just keeping us involved in the game. He finishes it off in the end, makes it 3-0 to Barça, and that was vintage stuff. That was a real clinical period of the game where we just opened up Villarreal, where we put them to the sword, and every chance that came our way in that spell, we buried it. That is what we need. Now, I do think, guys, that heading into the second half, I think certainly a lot of the players, and indeed Xavi, was probably thinking about Sunday's difficult game, tricky game at the Camp Nou against Athletic Club. That's obviously a very quick turnaround there, Thursday to Sunday. Now, Xavi was making a number of changes there in the second half to sort of deal and to prepare for that game. Frenkie de Jong came off after his incredible performance in this one. He was given a wonderful ovation by the Camp Nou crowd there. They were up, they were clapping, they were applauding, chanting for him. Really nice for him to receive that love from the crowd, and very well deserved. Now, Busquets came on, apparently, according to pitch-side reporters there. Few whistles when Busquets entered the field for Barça. He came on, Frenkie there in midfield. Also, Hector Bellerin making his return there, coming on for Sergi Roberto. Now, a few minutes later, on from that, Ansu came off, as well as Robert Lewandowski, and it was wonderful to hear Ansu getting, of course, a great reception, and indeed Lewandowski. You know, he hasn't come off many times. He hasn't been given the chance to really be received by the supporters, but what a nice moment he was. I think he's going to absolutely love that there. Hearing his name ringing around this stadium, the impact that he's already made here, and the love that we are feeling for this man, that is why he came here. That is what he wants to feel from the club that he joined in the summer. Dembele came on then for Fati. He was playing on the right-hand side, his natural side. Rafinha, though, coming on, he was on the left, and that then meant that Ferran Torres was playing down the middle for the rest of the game. He played the full 90 minutes. But there was one more change. Now, this came in the form here of Koundé going off, and indeed Gerard Piqué coming on. He was sort of going through a little bit of a warm-up, nothing too intense in that second half there before he came on. And when he did come on, it wasn't a good reception. Piqué there loudly whistled, and I do mean that it was loud, very, very noticeable from the fans inside the stadium. Piqué even shook his head. As he sort of jogged onto the field there, you could see he wasn't happy with that, and he didn't stop there either, because when Piqué then was picking up the ball, when he was having touches of it, they whistled him too. Piqué, a lot of bad reception tonight inside the stadium. As it went on, some of those whistles, were trying to be drowned out by cheers from the fans. Obviously, there's a bit of divide inside the stadium. But one thing that I was very surprised about, aside from all that, is that Pedri played the full game. We had 5 subs today, lots of chances there in the second half to really change things around, and I'm very, very surprised that Pedri was one of those that stayed out there for the full 90. We need to take care of him, we need to give him rest whenever possible, but Xavi, they're leaving him out there for the game, and it will be very, very interesting to see now, looking ahead to Sunday, how Xavi is going to line up. But this is what it means in terms of the league table. Barça there go back within 3 points of Real Madrid, who won last night against Elche quite comfortably in the end for them, so we do remain 3 points back in second place, but we had to win tonight because Real Sociedad putting in some really good performances there. They are pushing us in third place right now, but of course all eyes are on the title. We had to win, we had to keep putting the pressure on, we had to bounce back, and tonight we did all of those things. Xavi making changes. What we want to see now, of course, though, is that these changes take effect long term. You've got to reward the players tonight that showed their quality. We're going to be talking lots more about this game, and especially looking ahead to the crucial games that we still have to come this month. Please let me know how you found tonight's performance, who impressed you there in the lineup, and who, in your view, deserves to stay there now ahead of the weekend. I will see you soon, guys, with plenty more reaction to come. Thanks for joining me, though, this evening, and I hope you enjoyed those 3 sensational goals. I will see you soon, but until next time, as always, Visca, El Barça.